What's up, everyone? Andy, how you doing, man?
Living the absolute dream after the Saturday night primetime game. So,
Yeah,
let's go.
yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Guys, presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 and you use the promo code WELCOME to Light Years. If you are watching us and joining us live on YouTube, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate everyone who does that. Oh, we're live Saturday night, 8 p.m. after Warriors Lakers, a forgettable game. I think the most interesting part of the game was probably Steph being interviewed between the third and fourth quarter, discussing, how he hopes to be back soon, a couple setbacks, that sort of thing. But like, I kind of want to skip over the game. I don't think there's too much to talk about here. Like, shocker, the Warriors without Steph Curry, without Jimmy Butler, against a full-strength Lakers team in a primetime game looked undermanned. It is what it is. We know where they're at right now. I kind of ask you a meta question on this because like the weird thing with the Warriors season since the Jimmy injury has been, I think they've done an admirable job holding on. Like they play hard, they play smart, they play together, and that's honestly good enough to win like 50% of the games in the NBA these days. But then you run into better teams, and then the talent gap shows up. And I don't really think there's much more to say than that. Like there's no like magical coaching adjustment that Steve Kerr can do that's going to make Pat Spencer Luka Doncic. There's no magic adjustment that's going to change their reality until Steph comes back. It just is what it is. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's no other way to disagree with it. The only pushback I'll give you is that the Lakers lost to the and look, this is a primetime game. Guys are going to get play better in a primetime game, especially on a Saturday night on ABC, and all that stuff. But I think games you look like this are games where I watched the Lakers Suns game. I don't know why I did on Thursday night, but the Suns actually won, and the Lakers looked freaking terrible. And the Suns didn't even have, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Dylan Brooks and Devin Booker, and they won that game. I don't know if you watched it, but Grayson Allen was going crazy and calling Gillespie.
I caught the end. I caught the second half of it
too. Gillespie is like who we want Pods to be. So, but again, all that being said, what do you want? Like this is kind of what we get. Like the Warriors are going to play games where they're going to beat teams sometimes. I mean, a couple games ago they just beat
Denver.
Yeah, Denver. That's what it was. Denver. So they're gonna have those type of games. So yeah, man. There's no. I have no takeaways for you. Outside of, I think we're gonna talk about this one player that just got extended later on.
Yeah, let's get to it. Let's talk about that. Okay. Shout out our guy Gui Santos with the extension, with the, I don't want to say rare, but like positive Warriors news out of the blue at the end of February right now. The season is what it is. Like we all know, like Steph's going to come back. They're going to try to make a playoff push because Steph is Steph. There's always a chance that they could pull an upset in a round, but like in terms of total upside, there's not much on this team. But if I was to be honest with you, like watching a lot of these players kind of figure out who they are as role players has been fun. It's been fun watching Moses Moody really come into his own the last month. This has been the best basketball. Basically, from Christmas on is the best I've ever seen Moses Moody play. Would you agree with that? Like the last 2 months is the best ball you've seen Moses Moody play. Yeah. Pods has definitely been better recently. I'm not going to get into that debate. Melton's rounded, like we all know what Melton's just a damn good like role player in general. But Gui Santos has been probably my favorite story of the season, right? Likable guy, always kind of like back of the bench, positive attitude, trying his hardest. Never really stuck in the rotation. And this year he's finally stuck in the rotation to the point where I think you and I were talking about it a couple weeks ago. It's like, shit, man, can they keep him in free agency? That type of thing. And I'm just glad that they got it done with now. Like we know they got Gui back. And then the second part of it, which I think is, I care about it in so much as it matters now, but like they got him on what is a team-friendly deal, which theoretically leaves options open to do more stuff. Now, will they do more stuff is a different question. But like, to me, this is like an OKC move. This is like OKC is the gold standard right now, right? They've done a really good job at drafting and developing, not just at the high end, but like at the back end of the roster, like the Aaron Wiggins, the Kenrich Williams, those type of players, where those guys are valuable. They definitely know how to play basketball. Like AJ Mitchell, he comes to mind too. Completely different players than Gui Santos, but these are useful players who help your team. They find them in the second round or out of the draft. They develop them, and then they sign them to deals that it's like it helps when you have guys who are productive on smaller contracts, because then it allows you to go make bigger moves.
It reminds me a little bit of the Kevon Looney deals that he signed with the Warriors, where it always kind of felt like, hey, maybe Kevon Looney can go somewhere else and get more money. Now that actually ended up happening with the Pelicans, though you can argue like not a great contract for the Pelicans. Ended up what he got, but it always felt like, because he would always get for like $5 million, whatever it was, from the Warriors. He would have to wait to get his money. And I always felt like Kevon Looney's a great fit for the Warriors. I don't know if he's a great fit for other teams. Now, I'm with you in that he's a winning type of role player that fits other teams more. But I do think, Sam, like Gui Santos is a specifically awesome fit for the Warriors. I think that's what makes this such a great signing. I was pretty fired up, man. Like, I actually, just tells you what I know about this season. Didn't even know that we're looking to re-sign him. In my head, I was like, hey, it'd be great if Gui Santos is back and he played like 26 minutes a game next season. But now that they've locked him up long term, I do think that solves like, I think next season the Warriors are going to be pretty old, and we're going to have to kind of rely on them getting vet min guys. I do think Gui Santos is going to fill one of those roles for sure. Like, for sure, he's going to play.
Isn't it kind of funny?
30 minutes.
Isn't it kind of funny? It feels like over the last couple of years, they've figured out the back end of the roster finally. Like, they've just gotten better at finding, like, Will Richard, Gui Santos, Quentin Post, who, Post's been struggling a little bit. But, like, these guys, they've done a better job of finding the back of the rotation guys and the mid-rotation guys even. Like, guys, let's call them 8 through 15 on the roster. Like,
Yep.
Previously, they were awful at finding those guys. Like, do you remember like going back to 2017 or 18 where you're just like, man, they got the best 5 or 6 guys, and then it's just like, pray they stay healthy, because I don't trust anyone else on this roster.
Well, yeah, like especially 19, right? Like, especially 19, I think was when it all fell apart. I mean, it's a great point. I mean, because they were signing guys like DeMarcus Cousins, who was like injury prone and not really a winning player, but it's cool. Like, it's cool on Twitter.
Or like just their
Quinn Cook,
they're like young player gambles were just like failures,
Yeah.
Patrick McCaw actually gave him something for at least 1 year, then he faded, but like at least it was there, like Jacob Evans, Damian Jones, James Michael McAdoo.
James Michael McAdoo was a brutal one. Steve loved that one.
Jordan Bell at least did stuff for a while, but like the guys they had, for the most part, like they just didn't have guys who turned into Gui Santos or like at a lesser level Quentin Post or Will Richard, right? Like those guys. Smiley, Smiley's my guy. But yeah, no, it's funny because it feels like they finally gotten better at drafting in the second round for fit, where it's just like, all right, I know this guy can fill a role, and he may never be a starter, but we're gonna like him off the bench as an 8th to 10th man. But now their issue is the top of the roster.
I ain't even thought about that, but yeah, imagine Gui Santos. I don't know if they win 2019, but like imagine this version of Gui Santos in 2019 instead of McKinney. Imagine.
I forgot about McKinney. Yeah, no, it's another. No, but you're right. Like if they had this version of Gui or Will Richard on those dynastic teams,
Will Richard, yep.
I mean, they were what they were looking for, which was young legs who are willing to play a supporting role and play. They play against the playoffs every night. Like Gui, my favorite thing about Gui is it does not matter if he plays 2 minutes or 30 minutes. He's going balls to the wall. you know, like he's in there, right? Like that sort of thing. They didn't have those guys in the past. Now they are doing a better job at like IDing and developing those guys. But now it's like we have a top of the roster issue. And, you know, I guess I'll talk about this one. But like, you know, look, Jimmy's injured, and that's unfortunate. And that's a massive $55 million hole in your roster. Draymond's like, I've been patient. I wasn't ready to say it's over for him as early as you guys were. But it's like it's hit a point with me where, and I'll be patient. Like I'm not going to kill him or anything like that, but it's just like the more I watch, the more I'm just like, I don't know, man. Is there any chance it's really going to get better here? You know, like if they did get Giannis, what are we really getting out of Draymond? You know, like that sort of thing. It just seems like, and it's, you know, the reason I've been so patient about it was because like let's be honest, he finished top 3 in defensive player of the year last year, deservedly, by the way. Like, I just want to throw it out there, deservedly. So my thought process on it was, look, man, he's kind of dogging it, but literally last season he was still an impact player. I'm not ready to go there yet, but I mean, it's just been, we're at game 62. It's just been what it is this season outside of like the 2 Spurs games.
$27.6 million player option. You think he's going to pick that one up this offseason?
I mean, he should. That's why as an agent, you get that stuff, because like, even when he signed the contract, my hope was that he'd still be like depoy Draymond for like the first 2.5 years. And then we just deal with the last couple of years. And he actually gave him like 3 years. And then, you know, next year,
when it goes,
it's actually right. Kind of played out exactly the way I thought it would. So.
Yeah. Well, we always talked about where, like, we always said if Draymond's, I mean, hey, look, I don't want to be a freaking doom and gloom, but even with Steph, it's like it might not go for Steph skill wise, but I don't look like he's coming back anytime soon. So with Draymond, I think is actually Draymond like kind of healthy physicality wise. Like he's actually like he's on the court. He just the skill's gone. Like there's just nothing left. So yeah, 27.5.
Well, I want to say this on Draymond. It's he looks slower these days too. Like, because I would say the number one thing I would define Draymond by is, well, 2 things. One, smartest player on the court. Basically.
IQ. It's IQ is number 1. Yeah, IQ.
Number 2, though, I would say like he has endurance in way, like whether it's like reaching down and just more dog than anyone, but it's just like he was kind of like a Tasmanian devil on the court. It's like, dude, how does he have that much energy when I know he was out till 5 a.m. last night? You know, like that sort of stuff, right? And these days he just, I don't know, he looks like you and me after we've been out drinking. Or, you know, late contest, late closeout. You know, it comes for everyone, right? It just comes for everyone. But like so much of his gift is a combination of like IQ and just kind of like effort more than anyone. And like when you physically lose a little bit that he's lost, like he doesn't, unlike Steph, he didn't have the skill to fall back on. He didn't have I can't move the way I did, but you know what? The shot's always good. The shot's always going to be there.
They're going to have to find a way to not have him take up $27 million of the salary cap next year. So that's as simple as it gets. I have no idea how they'll do it. Rich Paul's his agent. It's not going to be just as simple as you're going to do it. So yes, that's the only thing. So, but yeah, he's out there, he's playing. I mean, there's that, but this team, I mean, what can he do? I mean, what can Draymond actually do? So I'm not making excuses for him, but it's a rough. It's not like he's playing next to guys, and he's not that type of player.
Yeah, I mean that's the other part of it. Maybe I'm just being unfair. Like he's always been kind of a.
Oh, like, I've been on the Draymond is wash train, Sam. So don't let me be the good guy now. Don't let me be the good guy. But what is he supposed to do? You know, it's a rough. I don't feel bad for him. He makes a lot of money, but it's hard. I mean, it's hard for him to play. You know,
the only thing that annoys me is the online discourse around him. It's like, all right, man, you think he's cooked It's fine. It happens to everyone. It's happened to me. It's happening to you.
It's already happened to me.
At least you're honest about it. Tommy's in denial phase that he's washed. We'll talk about it next time he's on the pod. But it happens to everyone. But like he is kind of a legend of the franchise. Like I do give more grace to players who've accomplished more. Like I'm not going to be as harsh on him as I would be on, I don't know. There's not really anyone on the roster I want to be that harsh about right now, to be honest. But like someone who theoretically has not been a part of the team as long as he has. You know what I mean? So
speaking of online discourse, nope, we're not going to go down that route. But what we will do is we're going to get to a couple sponsors here before we talk about some fun quotes that came out today. But before we do that, Light Years Podcast, we are brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. Tomorrow we got a great game. Tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon, if you guys are listening to this Saturday night, Sunday morning, the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing the Denver Nuggets. Two, I think, of the best teams in the entire NBA, two of the top 5-6 teams. And some of the numbers to look out for that I think are going to be really interesting to look at to build your lineup is Anthony Edwards, more or less 29.5 points. That Denver defense is questionable.
I saw Jokic at noon against the Warriors getting filleted by Pods. I think I'm with you. I'm taking the more on Ant too.
Yeah, and then Nikola Jokic, 28.5 points, more or less. I mean, Rudy Gobert is food every time. That's what Nikola Jokic sees. So I mean, come on. I mean, those are the two.
It's like the and I take it personally meme anytime he sees him. So
I just it's a brutal watch if you're a Wolves fan. But hey, it's gonna be a great game. I don't know who's gonna win, but just go on PrizePicks. Look at some of the numbers. You can go with Jamal Murray. You can go with some of the other guys, Naz Reid, if that's your type, because I think it's going to be a shootout. So download the app today. Use the code LightYears. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LightYears to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
Maybe a little Peyton Watson stock swatch for you. Yeah,
he's going to get paid.
A good player. He's a good player.
A lot of money.
Would not mind him on my Warriors, but anyway. Let's.
Oh, did we lose him? Oh, okay. We are brought to you by our second sponsor here, Quince. A well-built wardrobe is about pieces that work together and hold up over time. That's what Quince does best. Premium materials, thoughtful design, and everyday staples that feel easy to wear and easy to rely on, even as the weather shifts. We had rain a couple of weeks ago. You go on Quince, they've got jackets, they've got big sweaters, especially when it's cold. And then right now, it's 85 degrees where I am in Foster City.
I'm sweating right now.
Go to Quince.
I was going to get the jacket. Now I'm pivoting to the polo. It's polo weather.
Look at that polo. I mean, look at those shorts. I mean, you can go golfing, and that's golfing. That's a golfing fit right there. You look great. I mean, look at that. I mean,
100% European linen relaxed. Like for that price, by the way, are you kidding me? In this
$34. By the way, $34.
That's lunch right there. I mean, hopefully not, but
you can wear it every single day. You're not just eating it once and calling it, right? So go to Quince. This is what you got to do. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/lightyears for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada for our listeners up there in Canada. That's QUINCE.com/lightyears. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/lightyears.
Yeah. Okay.
What do we got?
I will say, so if you didn't listen to our last episode, Tommy had his brother on who happens to have POTS, which, I mean, what are the odds, right? Like that type of thing. I thought it was a good conversation. I really enjoyed, and I appreciated Matt just kind of giving us kind of his perspective and kind of letting people understand what's going on with that. And naturally, when we record that, and I felt good about that, Steve steps steps on a rake, hits something in his head. So Steve Kerr.
What's the latest on Porzingis?
He won't play today. He's sick, and so he'll be out, and we'll see about on Monday. We're not sure.
What more can or can't you say about what he's dealing with right now?
I can't really say anything. It's a medical issue way beyond my capabilities of explaining anything. So yeah, he's sick. He won't play, and we'll keep monitoring him.
Ah, Steve. So like, I don't have any takes on the illness because I'm not a doctor like Andy. Andy's a doctor. But I do have takes on Steve Kerr here. Just how many times have we seen Steve do the podium apology for something he said that he shouldn't have said out loud?
Were you surprised?
By which part, to be clear?
The apology.
No, I've heard it. Like the one thing
He
I will
loves to
say,
apologize. He loves to apologize.
the man's always apologizing. That's a man who's been married for 30 plus years. He's mastered the apology.
Shout out to Margot, our gal.
He I don't know, man. I think he's not that old, but he definitely operates like an old man. You know what I'm saying? Like he riffs on these interviews, and then afterwards he's like, I probably shouldn't have said that. And it's the type of thing only a coach who's accomplished as much as him and been around the block as much as him, like, because you would never see like a Kenny Atkinson type who's like wound up tight doing that.
So I agree with you. I think he doesn't care. I just think he doesn't give a shit. Like what you just said. You know how everyone here works. Everyone here has a job. When you first start, I'm gonna use my job example because that's all I know. But when I worked in my role, when I was just getting started in sales, I was very serious, right? I go to work. I don't mess around. I make my dials. I'm in sales, and I see a VP.
Never misspeak.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I don't say anything crazy, but I'm 34 years old now. I've been in sales for 11, 12 years, and I just don't give a shit anymore. I'm not a VP, right? Or anything like that, but like you just start to care less, right? Like it's not to say like I go up to the CEO and I'm just saying some crazy shit. That's a different story. Steve Kerr is actually the CEO, right? But you just get older and you're just like, I just kind of say whatever I want and we'll just see what happens. My guess is, Sam, my guess is someone told him, like, dude, maybe it was Rick or someone where it's just like, bro, you can't. Like Steve was probably like old man syndrome, where it's like he probably just was frustrated and he's just like, maybe he does. I don't know if he does or doesn't have pods. Frankly, at this point, I don't care. He's not playing. He's been out for 4 games. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Can we be clear about it? Like I don't know the distinction between specific illnesses. Like clearly he has something that's bothering him, and clearly he has something that is limiting his availability. But like, yeah, if it's this autoimmune thing versus that one, like it doesn't mean anything to me. It's just a diagnosis from the medical staff. So
and he's out 4 games and counting. It doesn't seem like he's coming back, and he missed the first couple of games coming in. So my guess is he's frustrated. He said some shit because he's old and he's been around forever. He doesn't care. And then Rick or Joe probably came up to him, or maybe it was Raymond Ritter, and came up to him.
It was definitely Raymond. Let's be real. Raymond's just the guy who has to do everyone's like intermediary work. It was like, hey, you need to talk. You need to walk that back, buddy.
Yeah, that's. I mean, at this point, like Steve, right? You know what I mean? Like Steve just doesn't care. And whatever it is, man. Porzingis has been out for four, and they don't specify what the illness is. Like they're not telling us what it is. I'm tired, so I'm sure Steve is tired. So he's like, whatever. And he doesn't care about apologizing. You can kind of tell, like I feel like some players, like, they don't want to apologize, like they got big ego. Steve is like, yeah, I'll fucking apologize. It doesn't matter to me. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
I would be willing to bet the only thing he cares about is like that he hasn't pissed off Porzingis that much, because he has to actually manage that relationship. Like that's otherwise, like coming and telling us like, hey guys, I messed up, I misspoke. Like he doesn't care, like that's not the important part. I mean, it does, like, the reality is I didn't want to think of the trade. First off, when the trade happened, I was like, this is a salary dump. Then then we got the All-Star break where I just spent the whole time reminding myself how good a player Porzingis is when he's healthy. So I lied to myself and said it wasn't a salary dump. And now we're dealing with the reality of what his career has been the last few years, which is just struggling with availability. His health is not where it needs to be, right? Yep. It's not like a judgment thing. It's just like at the end of the day, his health is not great, and now I'm back in the doomer, cynical. He's going to retire at the end of the season. Forget resigning him. He's going to go retire and hang out with Biedrins in Eastern Europe. Like,
that sounds pretty fun. I mean, hey, honestly, I would do that. That sounds pretty good to me. The only option
do you think he's going to get like jacked like Biedrins? Like, remember when we saw Biedrins post-retirement? You're just like, oh damn, this dude just been doing curls every day.
Retirement picture. I'm looking up Biedrins right now in retirement, and he looks good. Great hair. Of course, he's got a couple ladies next to him. Yeah, classic Andres Biedrins. Great guy. I mean, I don't know about great. I don't know him, but great stories about Andres Biedrins back in the day, by the way. The only optimistic
fun hang. Seems like a good hang.
This does seem like Andres Biedrins and Sarko Chaparkapa. Those are some good fun Eastern European guys to go out with. The only thing that I can sell you on with this is that I think there was no way that the Warriors could re-sign Kristaps Porzingis if he played like 65-70% of the last few games, because when he played, he looked good. The only thing that I can tell you that this would be good is that they're gonna get him to re-sign back for the vet, man. Because who the hell wants to re-sign? Who the hell wants this guy?
He's getting less money than Gui Santos. We're gonna look at the
bro, dude. Everybody's gonna be like, dude, you're gonna play 20 games.
Sure.
So why would and then the Warriors get lucky and maybe they get the Otto Porter year out of it. But next year he'll play 58 games somehow, right? They'll just get lucky or whatever. I don't know, but that's the only thing that this coming out of this that could sell you on is like, dude, nobody's signing this guy, man. Like either he retires and go play in Germany or whatever, or he's gonna come back to the Warriors on a vet, man.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. That's the only thing.
The conspiracy hat on me is going, the Warriors know where their season's headed. Like, there's really nothing that's going to get them out of the play-in in either direction. You know what I mean? Like, they just simply can't lose enough to tank into, like, a good lottery pick. And they also just don't have enough talent to win enough to get out of the play-in, right? So, when you know that's the case, maybe you get more conservative with it. Maybe like it does feel like with Steph, at least part of it is, look, if we're not competing for a title, we don't need to run you to the ground. You know what I mean? Like at least part of it feels like we know where the season is headed. The only thing that matters is you not getting a serious injury. And maybe they're doing similar with Porzingis, where it's like, look, man, he could potentially play. And if they were competing with the Thunder for a top seed, he might play. I don't know. I'm just trying to talk myself into it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I believe a word I'm saying right now. But if I was in this position, and if I'm the Warriors, like, they're running everything more conservatively than normal right now because of the reality of their situation. Their best case scenario is Steph is fully healthy next year. You get Porzingis back on a Gui Santos type deal. You bring back Melton because you have cap space. You make a big trade with Butler or Draymond or both of their contracts. And now you're talking about this assembly of role players plus a healthy Steph and a new co-star. And now that's interesting. That's really interesting, right? But that's only interesting if all those things get to the offseason without another torn ligament, right? So I don't know. That's where I'm at with it. But like, you know, yes, I'm aligned with you where I'm just like, man, this dude, you know, it's the same thing we've seen for 2 years. Like his health is not great.
We are trying to sell our listeners on
I'm not even that. I can tell you that the team internally is thinking of it this way too. You know, like this is not me like just selling. Now you could say that like it's just bullshit, but you know, your options are to try to figure out how to do that or just to tank. Those are your only two options, right? And they're not tanking.
Yeah, even if they did, it wouldn't even. Yeah. So hopefully Porzingis gets healthy, man. I just it's really the only thing coming out of this. But I think this has been really rough, really rough. And then okay, so we have a couple more topics, but I do want to say this one more piece because I haven't been on Twitter all day. I've been on Twitter less, which thank goodness. But I did go on Twitter, and the first like 5 tweets I see, Sam, which no thanks to Elon, is about how Kuminga looks and how like how this trade is all of a sudden like oh, like because he's playing well, blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, bro, like I'm so glad that he's not actually on the team, so we don't actually have to have long conversations, Sam. But the online discourse around him having one good game against the Washington Wizards,
two good games against the Wizards.
Against the Wizards, and then this with Porzingis is all of a sudden a tells us all we need to know about 20 years of Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, and the Warriors. I think I'm good, but you gotta love online discourse. Shout out Tim Calcom. You gotta love online discourse, brother. You gotta love it.
Fire everybody. I want to put one thought on this. There is a realistic chance that Steve was wrong in all of this, and this is going to be egg on the Warriors' face. And if that happens, I'll say it, and I know you'll say it, and I think we'll all own it. But it doesn't change the past, and that's the part which is kind of annoying. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't change 4 titles. It doesn't change the revolutionary system he put into place. And also, bro, running it up on the Wizards who are tanking when you don't get put in the game until they're down 20. Like, just wait a little bit on this one, you know? So
all right,
we'll see. I genuinely, like, my opinion on the whole thing is I think he's going to end up exactly where he was with the Warriors, which is there's moments where you're just like, damn, this dude's really fucking good. And then there's a lot of moments where you're like, frustrated. And then, you know, what I think really did him in with the Warriors was I don't think he responded well to coaching. I think people love to overplay the coaching side to it. But to me, it's like, look, man, it's a championship level coach. Why are you feuding with him? Everyone else just buys in, you know? So anyway, whatever. All right. Yep. It is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. Before we move forward, guys, I just want to talk about our friends at BodySpec. Look, BodySpec's been our longest sponsor, and they're our guys. And they're honestly my favorite sponsor. You know, look, we're all old men. We're all trying to do our best to stay in shape. What do you need to do to be in shape? Got to be honest with yourself first. What's the best way to be honest? Get a DEXA scan. What's a DEXA scan? It's a highly accurate method of measuring your body's composition. Lean muscle mass, body fat percentage, visceral fat around your organs. A little more accurate than just standing on the scale, you know. So what our friends at BodySpec have done is they made the DEXA scan affordable for all. So traditionally, this has been something that's only been available to pro athletes, San Jose Sharks, shout out Macklin Celebrini, Steph Curry, Brock Purdy, whoever it may be. Yeah, they can get DEXA scans, but you and me, that's $500 out of our pocket. So we're not doing that. That's an aggressive price. What BodySpec has done is they made the DEXA scan affordable for all. And with the code LightYears45, you can DEXA scan for only $45. Guys, that's right. With the code LightYears45, you can DEXA scan for only $45 mobile vans. They're going to come to you anywhere in the Bay Area or LA. Start your fitness journey. They are the best. Shout out our guys at BodySpec. You know, I want to take this in a different direction, Andy.
Okay.
You know what yesterday was? February
No.
27th.
Okay.
You know what February 27th is?
What is it?
That was the 10-year anniversary of the Double Bang game. The greatest regular season game in NBA history. I actually don't think anyone can debate that one. 73-win Warriors go into Oklahoma City. Steph Curry hits the craziest game winner in overtime. You had Russ and KD, and they wanted to beat the shit out of the Warriors, like badly. KD always wants to beat the Warriors. He wanted to beat the Warriors when he was on the Thunder. He wanted to beat the Warriors when he was on the Warriors. He wanted to beat the Warriors after he left the Warriors. I mean, there's some blood there. But that was, it's funny because like whenever Steph retires, we're going to do episodes on our favorite Steph moments, and they're all going to be playoff moments, except for this one. And this one might find its way to the top 2 to 3, which lets you know how monumental this regular season game was. Isn't that weird? It's been 10 years, bro.
And you know what's even crazier is they do this same thing every single year. Like I'm talking about but I'm talking about the NBA. Well, okay, here's my point. Here's the point.
You are correct, to be clear.
Like the NBA brings this out every single year because it is the last time the NBA regular season had highs that were this high in the regular season. In late February, we had a game that you remember where we watched the game. You remember where you watched the game. I remember where I watched the game. Non-Warriors fans remember where they watched. LeBron James remember where he watched that game. So I find it extremely flattering for Steph Curry and the Warriors that regular season was the greatest regular season that we've had by far in the last 20 years. We'll just never get basketball like that again. There might be better games. There might be, better finishes. But just the fact that everybody was watching that game and now they talk about it 10 years from now, we'll never is a long thing, but it will be very hard for the NBA to ever duplicate that level of impact and importance again. In the comments are telling us Denver OKC last night. Brother, nobody fucking cares. Yeah, it was fun. The game was fun, but the actual impact,
No, that's actually the point. The Denver OKC game was one of the first regular season games in multiple years where I'm like, there's a little juice here. It felt Jokic was ready to fight. That was pretty funny. It felt like it mattered. That was actually the first regular season game that I think felt like a decade ago, where you're just like, oh, these dudes hate each other and they're here for blood. You know what I mean? But that's what we're talking about. Like we used to get that all the time in 2016. You know what I mean? We used to get that all the time. And this game in 2016 was really like kind of the high water mark of it. Like there's like, I can think of multiple Clipper games that had that kind of intensity. I can think of Cavs games in the regular season that had that kind of intensity. But like that Thunder game, I do feel like was like the high water mark of this sort of stuff. And it's, I don't know. I don't want to get it. Like this is washed podcasting is what this is. Cause like, we're just talking about the glory days right now. That's what's going on. But
I remember when I could throw a pigskin a quarter mile. I remember when I could throw.
But it is true. And it's just, the Warriors put a video on YouTube out about it. And it was phenomenally made. And I would recommend everyone check it out. See, Joe, we don't hate you. We plug your stuff. It was, I remember, you want to know, I was, so I just started, I was dating my, future wife, about 6 months at that point, maybe 8-9 months at that point, something like that. I was supposed to meet her family, and I was an hour late because I could not leave that game. Went to overtime.
That's wow. You are dedicated.
And I was texting. I was like, I cannot move right now. I cannot move right now. Ballsy move. The fact that worked out for me is probably why,
Yeah.
But like, that was. I remember I was like locked in. Yeah, I was supposed to go to this dinner, somewhere in the Mission, do that, and I was just like, nope, not moving. Not after. Like I remember Steph. There was a play in the third quarter where I thought Russell Westbrook snapped his ankle in half and the season was over.
Yeah.
And he limped to the locker room and he came back in the game. Something that would never happen, by the way, today. Nobody plays through injury in the regular season. Not like that, And maybe they're smarter for it, but it kills the product. Let's be honest. It kills the product. Steph, do you remember that? He went down, Russ fell on him. It wasn't malicious.
No, I remember.
Yeah, but can you if that play happened today, to Shea, I'm just gonna use Shea as an example. Does Shea come back in the game?
No, I also can't believe you were late an hour, but I can't get over that. Just so it's just to the first time meeting your current wife's parents. I just
No, it was not the parents, to be clear. No.
Okay.
It was some distant family. We'd move well beyond that point. I was just like, this is not. I was like, there's no way I can be there at 8 on time.
No. Parents is different from okay. That's okay. Now it makes more sense. Look, dude, the intensity was crazy. Like you just said it. Like KD wanted that one badly. Remember he made the bad turnover at the end, just choked it away at the end to Iguodala. I remember that. Steph. I was so hung. I think I was still drunk. I was so hungover. And by the way, the game was at 5 p.m. Remember that? Like it was
a 5:30 game. It was a 5:30 like this. Yeah.
Yep.
They actually. I will go to my. Oh, this is not an important take, but I think that season and what the Warriors did is why they leaned into the 5:30 Saturday night special game because this was one of those where everyone's just like, "Oh, this is sick. This is perfect. We get to watch this awesome high level hoops." At the this ideal time, it's I can go out afterwards. But it's not the daytime, 5:30 is kind of a nice time on a Saturday. Let's be real.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't. I mean, good point. I mean, and then now 10 years from now, we get an injured Warriors team. Steph isn't even playing, and Jimmy's out. This ridiculous schedule that the Warriors played for half the season, and then the Lakers are kind of just spinning their wheels. It's
like they run into a team like this. It's like, all right, we can walk through this. This is easy, but
they look like the Globetrotters. The NBA was a great place. It is better now objectively in terms of skill. I think we can all agree on that. But the intensity, and which is why I think people they look back at the 80s and the 90s or whatever, and you look at the games that are being played, and you're like, man, there's a lot of guys that are not even close to as skilled as the 12th men on the current NBA teams. But I think sports is about how much passion and heart you play into these games. I mean, we just watched the Winter Olympics. I mean, look at some of these guys when they win or even when they lose and how much it matters to them. And we don't get that as much in today's NBA. I think that's an easy take. I think people tend to agree with that. I think that's what happens. We have 82 games, and I think your reasoning on guys that don't play injuries. I think that that's everyone's playing for the postseason, but ironically, then everyone gets hurt in the postseason too because they've been grinding through the regular season, right? Like Halliburton and Jason Tatum. And it's tough.
Even if all of that's true, and we want to talk about it, that still undersells how special that game was. Because you can have the opposite of everything you're saying. You're still just not going to have the magic of that moment and that shot. And that intensity. And to your point, Andre Iguodala with that steal at the end and then hitting 2 free throws when he was shooting 58% from the line. He couldn't hit a free throw. Andre forever my favorite. Horrendous shooting percentages, but when he need it goes in, 58% from the free throw line, but he goes 2 for 2 when they needed 2 for 2 to get to overtime. It was all to me, that was the most important, or that was the fever pitch of the Warriors dynasty. to me, that was the moment that everyone was the most locked in.
Do you remember media at those Warriors games? Do you
Yeah.
remember fans in opposing stadiums? It was like they were, now we're getting like way off track, but I was with my brother and we were watching like old videos of Queen performing live, and you would pan out to the crowd and it would
At
just
Live Aid, yeah.
insane old videos of even like Queen is legendary, but like let's even talk about like Goo Goo Dolls, which is like it's fine, it's a good band, but like
I don't even want to know what you guys were drinking if you're watching fucking Goo Goo Dolls concerts on the internet on YouTube. Pulling up some
Iris, but like you would watch it and like these old videos of like them performing these songs from like 15 years ago. I'm gonna get to my point here, and it would just be completely packed live. And you look at concerts today, and it would be great. Everyone's singing along. Everyone's like, no phones, whatever. Nowadays, you go look at a Coachella video of like whatever. It's like it's very rare you get that like same energy because everybody's kind of just like there, they're on their phones, they're not paying attention. Everybody can just watch the stuff at home. Back then you don't get to watch Bruce Springsteen live, man. You can't see Michael Jackson live. Nowadays it's like, bro, Blackpink on my couch sounds pretty good. They can't even sing anyway. So like, what does it even matter? Right. So I just,
we have hit old man washed podcasting now. That's how I know we have. We're just talking about that. But I mean, it's true. It's also just like, I remember how I felt about the Warriors at that time and how I felt about the team. And like, I just obsessive, right? If you told me Steph could still be at this level, and I know he's injured right now, 10 years later, I would not have believed you. And the depression of this current roster also kind of sucks in context of that too. So it's kind of, I don't give the Warriors that much grace for the way they've mishandled the end of Steph's prime. But I will say, I don't think anyone reasonably thought he would be this good at 38.
Yeah.
And for that, I can't fully blame them. No, I can't. Fuck them. Sorry. I don't know. It's like, it's like I watched the 2016 stuff. I watched the OKC game, the double bang game, the greatest regular season game of all time. And it makes me nostalgic because that was the apex of Warriors basketball.
Yeah.
And it happens to everyone. It doesn't mean they can't be good going forward. Doesn't mean they can't be relevant going forward. But at some point, you're always going to have this is just the peak. This is the peak, right? And that's a pretty high peak that they hit. It made me happy, made me kind of like sad that they're not there anymore. And then it just made me get to my final point here, which is, I don't expect them to get back to anything resembling that with Steph Curry. I just want them to put a team around Steph that makes the games worth investing in, that has a puncher's chance at winning. And maybe they did that with Jimmy, and the Jimmy injury just fucked them. It's possible that's all that's going on here. But he's the greatest player in Warriors history. Maybe the greatest athlete in Warriors history.
I don't think that's close.
No, some boomer's gonna come hit me up and be like, Joe Montana, or like some of my friends will be like, Barry Bonds. But it's like,
okay, you're talking about Bay Area. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Well, clearly Warriors. The Warriors goes without saying.
Yeah,
but anyway, my point is, I would like to see the end of his career be on a team that has a puncher shot, like a real shot at competing, and I'll live with how it plays out, as opposed to, kind of what we're seeing right now, which is kind of transitional and kind of annoying.
Yeah. Okay. Then that's I'm trying to think of the best Bay Area player. That's off season.
I mean, he could be like. I mean, I'm like playing it like, I don't know. I'm getting a text from my dad that he's like, Joe Montana, blah blah blah. You weren't there the '84 Super Bowl. You're like, you're right. I wasn't born, dude. But
that's not unfair. That's not unfair. I think Montana I mean, Montana
Some-
Bonds,
some-
I think too.
some old dude's gonna be like Willie Mays. I'm just like, that's great. Dude.
Yeah, that's the one where it's like at least I've seen read Montana. I mean, Willie Mays.
You see
Anyway.
Montana that as an old man, like not wanting to sign footballs at Niners games. So anyway, all right, we can end it here. Appreciate everyone.
Much love.